Arson cases submitted by Mark Toby M. Secondary, submitted to Dr. Elinita G. Cuenca. Content: describe the nature of arson as a crime. Describe the motive, reason for arson. Describe and explain the fire triangle and its component. Describe the procedure for the collection of arson evidence. Describe the two elements of alleged arsons in prosecutions. So, describe nature of arsons as a crime. Describe the motive and reason for arson. So, arson is typically defined as malicious burning of property. The general definitions of arson means that somebody deliberately or intentionally set a fire to a property in order to destroy it with a criminal intent. The person who decides to burn dead leaves in the backyard is normally not charged with arsons, as it is his or her own property and there is no criminal intent. Criminal intent can be very broad. It includes gain to profit, fraud, prosecutions, and causing injury. The crime of arson is very serious offense, punishable by several years of imprisonment. So, there are different motives for committing arson, and they are usually classified into categories such as profit, spite, excitement, crime concealment, and vandalism. Profit means includes all arsons committed with the expectations of obtain a gain from the perpetrator or arsonist. It is important to note that the perpetrator does not necessarily need to obtain gain but to show the intent that gain was going to be obtained. The gain can be direct or indirect. So, arson for spite is also known as arson for revenge. This type of arson is wants to take revenge against the persons, group of persons, and organizations, institutions, against property, society in general. Arson for excitement is committed by people who are bored, in need of attention, or sexually stimulated by the crime of arsons. These criminals are considered dangerous, as they do not have a particular target and will burn any place or thing that would be fulfill their need for excitement, attention, or get them in the recognition they think they deserve. Arson for crime concealment is performed when criminal try to hide another crime. So, ginagamit ito para tago ng isang criminal yung mga isang crime. So, criminal are aware, yung mga criminal is aware sila that the fire is powerful weapon to achieve destructions of evidence. Fortunately, there are many forensic techniques that have been developed throughout the years to retrieve different evidence such as blood patterns and fingerprints. Arson for vandalism is typically performed by young criminals or juvenile fire setters for no apparent reasons, such as school or educational facilities are often the target of such as criminals. Describe this and explain the fire triangle and its components. So, fire triangle is a model of conveying and components of a fire that the fire triangle's three sides illustrate the three elements of fire, which are heat, fuel, and oxidation. The three elements must be combined in the right proportions for a fire to occur. If any of the three elements are removed, the fire is extinguished. The first element is a fire is heat, which is perhaps the most essential of fire elements. A fire cannot ignite unless it has a certain amount of heat, and it cannot grow without heat either. Sa second element naman is yung fuel. A fire needs a fuel source in order to burn. The fuel source can be anything that is flammable, such as wood, paper, fabric, or chemicals. Once that fuel element of the triangle is removed, the fire will go out. And then oxygen. The final element of the fire triangle is oxygen, which is also an essential component of fire. A fire needs oxygen to start and continue. That is why one recommendations for extinguishing a small fire is to another is smother in with non-flammable blanket, sand, or dirt. Procedure for collections arson evidence. There are many physical clues that may suggest arson is fire clues. Una, burn pattern, multiple origin or unusual origin locations, presence, absence, and conditions of ignition key, ignition lock switch conditions, accelerants, and unexpected locations, missing accessories, components, or personal property, components, and have been tampered with, evidence of forced entry, metal content in engine or transmissions, lubricants, physical damage, or abuse to vehicles. So, ito yung mga physical clues that may suggest arson is a fire cause. Describe the two elements of alleged arsons in prosecution. So, in all prosecutions of arson, there are two elements of alleged crime, which the prosecutions must prove beyond the reasonable doubt. So, that the fire was caused by the willful criminal act of some persons. And then yung pangalawa naman, the identity of defendant as the one responsible for the fire. Both of these elements may be established by direct or positive evidence or by circumstantial evidence or both.